this room gets a lot bigger when you're up here, doesn't it? Well, as Dan said, he was going through the church directory, and he was going alphabetically. And my name starts with C. So he called, and here I am up on stage talking to you. Just that easy. But I don't think so. I don't think it was just that easy. I think it was a God thing. It's a saying my sister loves. My sister Sherry Hatcher, and my great brother-in-law, her husband Jeff Hatcher here. My sister loves that. It's a God thing, and I kind of like it too. It's a good saying. And why? Why do I think it's a God thing? If Dan had asked my sister Sherry to think Joe would do a Bible study, she would say, I doubt it, but I would love it if he did. And if he asked my wife Colleen, would Joe do a Bible study, she would say, well, I seriously doubt it, but I would love it if he did. And if he asked my mom, she'd say the same thing. If Dan had asked me a year ago, I would have said no, definitely not. We'd had quite a few deaths in our family, and my heart was hardened by the deaths of my family. My dad, he was a truck driver from way back. He loved to drive. 18-wheelers. He drove a set of doubles for FedEx Ground 3 days a week to Stockton and back just because he loved it. He was retired, but he just loved to drive, and he was 78 years old. 78 years old and still driving, hopping up and down out of the trailer, just because he loved it. 78 years old, and he was a rock. He was the rock of our family. And then he got ill, and about a month later, he was gone. Our rock was gone. My oldest sister, Diane, her husband, Alan, they woke up one morning, and as they always do, she went to work out, and he had gotten in the shower, and she came home, and the shower was still running, and he'd had a heart attack. He passed away right there in the shower. And they left my sister and their only child, Amanda, my niece Amanda, which was 14 at the time, just the two of them in Long Beach. Just out of the blue, as it happens. A few short years later, her daughter Amanda died in a single car accident at the age of 16, leaving my sister alone in Long Beach with no family around to deal with it, to deal with the unimaginable feelings that would be going through your head. Matt doesn't begin to describe the anger I felt towards God. It doesn't even start. How can you do this? How could God do that? I can understand her husband being older, but then taking her daughter. Nobody should have to bury their child. I'm thinking, how can this be part of the grand plan, of God? And I cursed him, I called him out, and I just said goodbye. I'm done. Years went by, and the hurt started to subside. And I pretty much used my anger against God as an excuse not to go to church with my wife and my girls. Stay home and watch some football and racing, and just use it as an excuse. I wanted nothing to do with him. I wanted my girls to get to know God. I wanted them to be raised upright and have good values. But I didn't want to participate. With the anger fading, I had questions. Not all of them my wife or Jeff or Sherry can answer. Time went by. And so one evening the phone rang. And it was Dan Eckley calling for me to ask if I would consider being in a men's discipleship group. My first thought was no. Dan asked me if I would think on it, and I thought no. But something inside of me was wanting to do it. I think God was telling me it was time to put up or shut up. If you want to know the answers to questions, then quit your whining and talk to God and try to get some answers to the questions going through my head. So I did. I did the Bible study with Dan and Ron and Will, Joe, and Dale, Gary, and Chuck, and Ryan, and each week God answered more of my questions, and each week He did something good in me. God gave me a desire to attend church, and my family loves it. They love it. My wife now has a friend to attend church with. My girls have a father with a positive attitude towards God, a father who's willing to walk the walk and talk the talk. I came to realize, I'm a scumbag, I'm a sinner, and I repented and gave my life to God. I got a long way to go, but God is definitely changing me. So was Dan's call to me a random act, or was it a God thing? I'm going to read Matthew 13:44. The kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field. When a man found it, he hid it again. And then in his joy went and sold all that he had and bought that field. Well, I've saved every penny. I've bought a field which holds the richest treasure one person could ever want. I gave my life to Jesus Christ. And yes, it was a God thing. So I give glory to God, and I hope you have found that treasure too. God bless.